Hello and welcome to the Thunder Report here on Sunday Sports Talk Live. Ricky Whitmer here, and I will be joined via the phone line with Ryan Basham of your Windy City Thunderbolts. And Ryan, let's just get right into the interview. According to WCThunderbolts.com, it says that you lead the team in walks with 19 this season. How exactly do you approach an at-bat, and how are you drawing so many walks?
Yeah, I guess it's just patience and trying to get your pitch, not trying not to give in to the pitcher so much, because, in the front two, I've been here for quite a while, so there are a lot of younger, wild pitchers, so you're more likely to actually, if you're patient, you're going to get a better pitch to hit, and a lot of the times when you get yourself out, it's because you're chasing a pitch that, you could have waited and got a better pitch. So that's kind of my whole approach up there is just kind of, be patient and wait for a good pitch to hit. So.
Well, Ryan, another stat that kind of popped out to me when I was doing some research for the interview was that on WCThunderbolts.com, when you click on stats, it says that you're second on the team in strikeouts for the Thunderbolts. One question I just got to ask you is, do you believe that this stat can show how aggressive you are at the plate? Or is it one of those things where, like you're talking about, pitchers are just wilder in the Frontier League, and you just come off of a strikeout going, oh, man, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have swung at that pitch.
Yeah, this year also, I've struggled quite a bit. I started off the season really well and then struggled for quite a few games in a row, and that's actually where the bulk of my strikeouts was in like about a 10 to 12 game period, and I was really struggling. And I was kind of pressing at the plate, and when you're pressing at the plate, you swing at some pitches that you normally don't, and like you're saying, with some wilder pitchers in the league, you're going to get a lot of bad pitches to swing at. So I was pressing, trying to figure something out, and swinging a lot of pitches that, I typically don't swing at. So I think that's definitely where the strikeout total came in.
Well, is there like a certain pitch that you like to hit? Maybe like a fastball inside, something outside, down low, up high? What type of pitch is kind of like your prime real estate where whenever you just see it, you just start drooling because it's like, oh, man, I love this pitch?
Yeah, well, and a lot of it depends on the pitchers. You get to know some of the pitchers and what they're going to throw, and, you might go up looking for a certain pitch at a certain time in the game, too. But, mainly it's just you look for a pitch, middle, out over the middle, and, that's about it. If it looks good, it could be a hanging breaking ball, it could be a fastball, whatever. But there are certain times that you go up looking, particularly for a fastball or looking for, something off speed or whatever. But mainly it's just finding a good pitch out over the middle.
Well, another question I've got for you is, last week I talked to Chris Wade about how the Thunderbolts had not hit a home run yet this season. And this week you guys got your first home run of the young year. And basically, what are your thoughts about the low home run totals and kind of the small ball play that the Thunderbolts are playing?
Right. I don't know. A lot of it I think has to do with our park, because there's been a lot of balls hit really hard at our park that don't go anywhere. And it's just kind of a dead park. I don't know how to describe it. It's not huge or anything. It's just the ball doesn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. Even last year we played a lot of small ball too, more so than some of the other teams in the league. But I think if you're winning, I don't really think it matters how you're winning,
Well, what I would say is it's just what you're saying, that it's like the park itself. Like, you guys could hit hard balls at Standard Bank Stadium and they just don't go anywhere, whereas in the MLB, any ball you hit hard in Yankee Stadium is going over the fence and it's a home run.
Right, or Gateway in our league. Gateway is a kind of I wouldn't say a joke, kind of a joke of a baseball field, because you hit any fly ball to right field is a home run. Literally. So, you can see some of the home run totals around the league, and, so you can almost go by stadium and see which ones fly out and which ones don't. Because how many home runs have been hit in our stadium? Maybe 2 or 3 this year.
Well, then, would you be one to describe Standard Bank Stadium as a pitcher's ballpark rather than a hitter's ballpark?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's any level of baseball. There's going to be some pitchers' parks, some hitters' parks, and Standard Bank Stadium is definitely a pitcher's park. And that's why you got to play small ball.
If you're just joining us here on the Thunder Report, part of Sunday Sports Talk Live, I got live on the phone with me Ryan Basham, the DH/left fielder of your Windy City Thunderbolts. And Ryan, another thing I talked about with Chris Wade last week was before this week, the Thunderbolts had not swept an opponent this season. This past week, you guys swept the Rockford Riverhawks at home at Standard Bank Stadium. And really, how does it feel to finally sweep an opponent this season? Because it just seems like you guys would go up 2-1 and then lose that last one.
Yeah, that's baseball. You can't. I guess the Thunderbolts have spoiled the fans around there with sweeping everybody last year at home, but statistically, sweeps don't occur that often. So I think it was just something. We won 2 out of 3 and drop 1. It's baseball, but ups and downs are going to happen. I'm sure we'll get our fair share of sweeps this year, and hopefully we won't ever get sweeps. But wins and losses happen. So.
Well, Ryan, also, yesterday you guys were rained out before you even started to play the Washington Wild Things yesterday. And the next question I kind of have is, what goes through your head when you're in a rain delay, especially like the one that happened yesterday, where it's before a game, you're all ready to go, you're in the zone, and then a rain delay happens? How do you keep yourself mentally in that zone and ready to play baseball at any moment when they could just say, okay, we're going to play?
Yeah, it's tough. You just kind of try and stay occupied. I don't know, listen to some music, play cards, do whatever you got to do, and just kind of, keep yourself occupied. Because, like you said, we had no idea if we were going to start and when we were going to start, and they just kept pushing it back and back. So it was tough to stay mentally into it, but it's something you got to do. So.
Well, obviously that means that the Windy City Thunderbolts will be playing a doubleheader tonight against the Washington Wild Things. And is there anything that you do differently, either mentally or physically, to prepare yourself for a doubleheader than you would if it was just a single game today?
Not really. Maybe a little more rest. So I know a few guys went to the gym today, but I definitely didn't, because I wanted to have as much energy as possible for the game, So it's just not really anything different. It's only a few more innings, to set to 7, so about the same approach.
Well, Ryan, if anyone were to look at the Frontier League standings today, June 17th, they would see that the Thunderbolts lead the East Division at 14-10. And coming up next after the Washington Wild Things, the Thunderbolts play 2 key road series against the Lake Erie Crushers and the Joliet Slammers. How's the team mentally preparing for 2 tough road series against divisional opponents?
I don't think we really think about it like that. It's kind of it's a day-to-day thing. Every day is a new day, and no matter who we're playing, we got to come to the field with the same approach. So, like today, all our focus is on, beating Washington in a doubleheader. We can't really think about 4 or 5 days down the road. We got to worry about today. So.
And Ryan, the last question I got for you is kind of a little fun one, taking a little break from the Thunderbolt questions. But if someone were to come up to you and say, "Hey, Ryan, I'm going to give you a pair of tickets to either see the Yankees and the Cubs at Wrigley or the Brewers and the Red Sox at Fenway," which one would you go with?
Brewers and Red Sox at Fenway. Because I've never been to Fenway. I've been to Wrigley quite a few times, so I would definitely like to visit Fenway at some point.
Well, Ryan, that's all the questions I got for you today. I want to thank you very much for calling in and doing an interview for the Thunder Report here on Sunday Sports Talk Live, and Go have a great doubleheader and win both games against the Washington Wild Things today.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Stay tuned to the Thunder Report here on Sunday Sports Talk Live on WXAV 88.3 FM and WXAV.com. Coming up next, we will discuss the week that was for the Windy City Thunderbolts and give you an inside analysis on what we can look for next week from the Thunderbolts. So stay tuned. You're listening to Sunday Sports Talk Live only on WXAV 88.3 FM and WXAV.com, the radio home of your Windy City Thunderbolts.